All right. Welcome here to Instigator Mick here. Happy early 4th of July because 4th of July is tomorrow, but I'll bring you a 4th of July edition of Instigator Mick here. Obviously, last week was like the NHL draft, like NHL recap of the season, and obviously the NBA draft and all NHL draft stuff. But Sabres didn't get TJ Ginla, unfortunately. They got a Swedish forward, but the worst part of it is we got rid of Jeff Skinner over the weekend. And yeah, now he's officially in Edmonton Oilers. So we got a couple good free agents, but we'll see how they do, obviously, the Sabres. But before we get into 4th of July, let's talk about slow pitch softball. We haven't talked about that in this game yet, but slow pitch softball teams I keep scorebook for on like an only end. Let's talk about the Tuesday Night League first. They start out the year back in June. It was back in June. They won their first game, beating the Fire Department 4-3. It was a low scoring game for a slow pitch game. It was win bat though, but still it was a good game though. Yeah, we won our first game. Mickey's is our team name. Of course, they got the Bills shirts on. It was pretty cool. But yeah, so that's our team name, Mickey's. Yeah, for Tuesday nights. They beat the Fire Department there the first game, and then lost 2-0 to Allegheny Beverage Redemption, which is run by Jeff Scanlon. We lost to them to the doubleheader. Both good games, both close ones. Then we lost to Believers Chapel. After that, the third week of the season, we lost 4 straight at that point. And then obviously before last night, we'll get into last night's a little bit, but the last June game they finished with obviously a split doubleheader. They played the Fire Department last week. They got mercy rolled, and then they got mercy rolled again by Bizarro's team, which is Parkwood. So yeah, they're on a 6-game losing streak going to last night. So let's get into last night. First game, yes, we were against the defending champs of the Tuesday night softball team. It was the Allegheny Beverage Junction. It was Jeff Scanlon's team. They got a really good team. They got Henry Scanlon, who's pretty good, really good hitter. He's also my Friday team. We'll get into a little bit. He also Albert Martin. He's part of the Friday night team. Of course, Jeff Scanlon, I'm very close. Known him from all the times obviously I was coaching his kid and all that. But yeah, so we get there. We were down 6-0. Obviously, in the bottom of the 7th, we needed a miracle. We needed to freaking score 7 runs unanswered. We were looking good to be all right, but we just couldn't get any guys on the score. But all of a sudden, we get a couple runs, and we get another one. Make it 6-3. It was 6-3. The bases were loaded. My brother Quentin was up the bat. He hits it, but the outfielder drops the ball, and all of a sudden, everyone came running in, and Quentin had the adrenaline running. He rushed in. He scores the winning run. We had a 7th-inning miracle when he's scoring all 7 runs after we didn't score any runs in the first 6. Scored the last inning of the game, walked with 2 outs in walk-off fashion. It was off an error, but still, it was pretty amazing how that game played out. A lot of comebacks. Let's talk about the Bisons a little bit too. But yeah, that happened. And then second game, we were against Bizarro's team. Of course, we're not a fan of those guys. I mean, there's some guys I liked on that team, but don't get me wrong. But most of them are D-bags, especially one in particular, which I will not get into. But yeah, we played them. We pretty much, they were one of the best teams in the league as well too. We were controlling that game from start to finish. We had the momentum after that 7th-inning miracle in the first game. We finally pulled a big upset, beating them, winning 8-6. We were controlling that game pretty much. There was a lot of chirping. It was a lot of tension, but boy, did Mickey's pull off 2 big upsets, winning both doubleheader games. Now they're 4-6. I mean they're 3-6. They went back-to-back games for the first time this year. They could go on a winning streak next week because they play against the Fire Department one more time this season. Let's hope they can finally get on a win streak here, and maybe have a chance to get to 500 before the playoffs begin. So yeah, that is your Tuesday night team, Mickey's. But let's get to our Friday nights, like the Metal Bat League, which is Angie's Restaurant, run by Nick Angel. Of course, my brother plays on that team as well. I keep the scorebook for them too. Love playing them too. Love watching them play too because they're a good group of young men. For sure. So yeah, let's get into their Friday night season, how it's been this year for Angie's. I mean, they're good too. They got some wins too. I mean, our first week of the season, we played against the best team in the league, which is Parkwood. Same kind of similar group. I was like Tuesday night's win back team. We lost both those games, obviously. We were competitive. We were in that. And the second week was of May 31st. We ended up playing Pizza King. That's the second best team. We played those 2 teams. Those 2 ringers right away. And that second game, I mean, that was chippy. I mean, I missed most of the first game because I was golfing with my cousin at the time. But that, of course, the second game got pretty chippy. That guy on the other team was chirping, and I chirping at Q. It was getting tense. So I was like, oh, geez, this might end in a fist fight. But no. And we lost both those games. So we were 0-4 going into the third week of the season. We lost both to Pizza King in there. So they're bringing the new month of June. We played against House Detailing. We lost the first game off a walk-off fashion. We gave up. We blew a 12-run lead against them. Lost. Then game 2, We went a walk-off, you know. It was Quinn who hits the walk-off home run. We were hitting so many home runs, but Quinn hits the walk because metal bat, you get 2 home runs per inning. That's the limit. It's so weird how they do that compared to like MLB does, like no limits at all, you know. But it's a little bit softball, but you know what I mean. So that happened. So we split with them. We got our first win of the season, so we were 1-5 after that one. Then obviously the fourth week of the season, June 14th, we were playing Moonwinks. We lost both of them, unfortunately. And we're still one of them. Yes, we lost both those games. So we were 1-7 at that point. Then we played the Mountain Men. That was a primetime game. We actually won the first one. But the second one, everyone just didn't want to be there because it was super late because the other games before us were running behind. So, yeah, no one wanted to be there, but we lost. We split. We actually lost the worst team in softball in the game Mountain Men. So, yeah, we're showing we're the worst this year. So, yeah, so we were like 2-8, I think, at that point. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, so we were 2-8 at that point. And then last week we had to forfeit because guys couldn't show up, you know, like vacations and all that. And like some were construction workers, you know, like there was a big water leak issue, like water issue at West State and Independence Road. But yeah, we had to forfeit those games, unfortunately. But hey, stuff happens. It's life, you know. But yep, so we are now officially 2-10 technically. But yeah, so our next game is because we don't have softball this week for Friday night. We don't play till July 12th. We'll be back at it against 716 Fitness. So that's your slow pitch softball topic for the night. You know, we talk about that. Let's get into the Buffalo Sabres now. The schedule just came out yesterday. Before we get into the Sabres, we'll talk about the Canucks first. The NHL schedule released yesterday after this free agency on the draft and all that. So let's talk about the Vancouver Canucks. I set my B team first. Yeah. Of course, they did a Netflix parody, but yeah, their first game, they start the season at home against the Calgary Flames. A Wednesday night. That's usually a Wednesday night tradition having against Canadian team. Usually it's Edmonton they start off with. Calgary. It's going to be a good one. That should be good. And they got the Flyers at home as well, and then they go on an East Coast trip through Florida, Philadelphia, and Chicago. So, yeah, they play in Tampa Bay, the Florida trip, through Tampa Bay Lightning. It's going to be a little different without Steven Stamkos, and then Canucks also have the defending Stanley Cup champion Florida Panthers on the road. Then they got the Philadelphia Flyers on the road as well, and the Chicago Blackhawks to finish up their road trip. And then, of course, late in October, they get back home. They play the Pittsburgh Penguins, and they play the Carolina Hurricanes. And they finish off October with a home game against New Jersey Devils. So it'll be Hughes versus Hughes. Jack Hughes for the New Jersey Devils and Quinn Hughes for the Canucks. It'll be a good brother versus brother matchup to end the month of October. Let's get into November. New release November. They call it, like, it's a Netflix parody of this, but they head to San Jose, the California trip swing. They head to San Jose. They head to Anaheim on November 5th, the night of election night. So, yeah. And then they head to LA 2 days after the election to play the LA Kings. And then they go back home to play the Edmonton Oilers. That game's going to be personal for the Canucks because that's how their season ended in the second round against them. Then they got the Flames again at home. Then they got the New York Islanders at home the 14th. On November 16th, they got the Blackhawks at home. And the Nashville Predators, that's going to be a tough one. Of course, they just played each other in the playoffs. Obviously, you know, the first round Canucks eliminated the Predators. Of course, personal now, of course, they're going to be really good this year. They got Steven Stamkos. And then they play the New York Rangers, obviously. So they played them. You know, and then they play the Ottawa Senators in November, yeah. The East Coast trip in Ottawa, and then Boston, Tuesday before Thanksgiving, and then the Wednesday before Thanksgiving in Pittsburgh, and then the right of November for the Canucks. They play the Sabres, my Buffalo Sabres. We'll get in that later. And December, the Holiday Classic is the month they call it. So, yeah, the Red Wings on the road and finish out the road trip with Minnesota. Then the Columbus Blue Jackets, they play at home. Then the Lightning at home. Then the Blues at home. Then the defending Stanley Cup champions Panthers at home. So I'll wrap up their season series there. Then the Bruins, obviously, right after. You know, and then obviously the Avalanche, the 16th. And their first trip to Utah on the 18th, December 18th. The 19th, the Gold Knights, that's personal to me. 21st, the Ottawa Senators at home. Then they play the Sharks at home a few days before Christmas. Then Christmas breaks over. They play the Kraken at home. And then they finish off New Year's Eve in Calgary. Now trending into January. The Kraken on the road. Then they play the Predators at home again. Then they played Montreal. And played Washington against Capitals. And they play the Hurricanes on the road. Then they played Toronto on the road. And they play the Jets on the road. But they come back home, play the Kings, Oilers, and Sabres. And then they got the Oilers. Then they get the Capitals, the Blues, the Predators, and the Stars. February, short week. Red Wings, Avalanche. Then on the road against the Sharks, the Leafs. Then at the Golden Knights. Then at Utah. And against the Kings and the Ducks. March. They play the Kraken. They play the Ducks. They play the Wild at home. And they play the Stars at home. Then they play the Canadians at home. They play in Calgary on the road. And they play the Blackhawks at home. Then Utah comes to Vancouver for the first time. So then you get the Jets, then the Blues, then the Rangers on the road, and the Devils on the road, then the Islanders on the road, Blue Jackets on the road, then the Jets on the road. Of course, the last month of the regular season for the Canucks, supposedly in the schedule, Kraken on the home, Ducks at home, Golden Knights at home, Stars on the road, Colorado on the road. That's the last road game. And then finish off the last 3 at home against the Wild, Sharks, and the Golden Knights. That'll wrap up the Canucks part. Next, the Buffalo Sabres. Obviously, next. Their schedule just came out yesterday. I'm hyped about my Buffalo Sabres this year. So, that happened. So, they start the year off in Europe. Obviously, I've been telling for a while. Against the Devils, both games. First at 1 o'clock Friday afternoon. And then the Kings is an opener. Then the Panthers and the Penguins on the road. As long as the other 2 road games, play Columbus and Chicago. Then the October part wraps up with the 3 home games against the Stars, Red Wings, and Panthers. November, Islanders, then the Red Wings at home on the road, and then Senators at home, Rangers on the road, Flames at home, Canadians at home, Blues at home, at Flyers, then California road trip against the Kings, Ducks, and Sharks. Then they host the Wild. Then they play the Canucks day after Thanksgiving at home. Then finish off November with the Islanders. And December, Avalanche at home, Jets at home, Utah Hockey Club at home, Red Wings at home, Rangers at home. Then on the road against the Capitals, on the road against Toronto, on the road against Montreal, and then come back home, play the Leafs, then a 2-game road trip against Boston, and at the Islanders, and then Blackhawks last home game. Of course, they finish off December with road games at Dallas and to start in January. Road trip in Colorado and Vegas, and the Capitals at home, and the Senators on the road, Kraken at home, Hurricanes at home, Penguins at home, then a road trip with Martin Luther King Day against Seattle, and then day after that Vancouver on the road, Calgary on the road, Oilers on the road, then finish January off with Boston at home and Predators at home. Then a short February schedule, 2 home games against the Flames, the Devils and the Blue Jackets, then Predators on the road, Rangers at home, Ducks at home, and then finish off February with the road game against the Hurricanes. In March, home game with the Canadians, road game with the Canadians, home game with the Sharks, then a road trip in Florida against the Lightning and the defending champs Panthers, and then Oilers at home, Red Wings on the road, then home game at the Golden Knights, and a road trip at Boston, Utah, Minnesota, and Winnipeg, and then they play 2 home games against the Senators and the Penguins, and then finish off March with road trip in Philadelphia and D.C. Then last month in Ottawa on my birthday against the Senators, then they host the Lightning and the Bruins and the Hurricanes, and they have 3 road games left against the Blue Jackets, Panthers, and Lightning, and they finish their season at home against the Leafs and the Panthers, the Flyers. So that wraps up the Sabres segment. 2 more segments to go, and then I'll head to the fireworks at Lime Lake. So, all right. So let's look at the pay-per-view this upcoming weekend, the Money in the Bank pay-per-view in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. So that's going to be huge. Last pay-per-view before SummerSlam, obviously. We'll get to this quick. The first match you got is a Money in the Bank ladder match, the men's Money in the Bank. You got Jey Uso, main event Jey Uso, who's the favorite, and then Carmelo Hayes, then Andrade, Chad Gable, LA Knight, and Drew McIntyre. Who do I like winning this one? I'm about to go with my man, main event Jey Uso. He's going to be Mr. Money in the Bank, Mr. Yeet in the Bank. I got to go with main event Jey Uso to win the men's Money in the Bank. The women's, you got Io Sky, who won it last year. And you got Chelsea Green, Lyris Valkyria, then Tiffany Stratton, Naomi, and Zoe Stark. Who do I like in this one? I'm going to have to go with, I hate to say this, but I'm going to have to. I have a feeling this is a big push here. Next, a last chance World Heavyweight Championship match. Damian Priest versus Seth freaking Rollins. Of course, if Priest wins, Rollins will never challenge. And if Rollins wins, Priest must leave the Judgment Day. Oh, this is a tough one. I think I'm going to have to go with Seth freaking Rollins. I don't know why. I just think Priest's days of the Judgment Day are done. I'm going to have to go with Rollins. He's going to be back to being world champion, but loses it to Gunther or someone cashed in, something like that. But I'm going to have to go with Damian Priest. I mean, Seth freaking Rollins to win that championship. Next, the Intercontinental Championship, Sami Zayn versus Braun Breaker. Sami Zayn has been a fighting Intercontinental Champion. I would love to root for Sami Zayn, but Braun Breaker's going to win the Intercontinental Championship. He's been on a tear. He's destroying everyone. No one's safe on Monday Night Raw. I got to go with Braun Breaker. He's going to win a singles title for sure. Last but not least, the 6-man tag match main event. Cody Rhodes teams up with his former Legacy partner, Randy Orton, and Kevin Owens also join that alliance to take on the Bloodline, the new foreign Bloodline, the new Tribal Chief, Solo Sikoa, and it's Tom Mamatanga and Tungaloa and Jacob Fatu. Any of the three, something like that. But any of the three Bloodlines. So one of them be the manager. But yeah, no Wise Man because the Bloodline turned on Paul Heyman because Paul Heyman told him, you're not my Tribal Chief. But I'm going to go with Rhodes. I'm going to go with Cody Rhodes, Orton, and Kevin Owens, and Roman Reigns. This is my spoiler alert. Roman Reigns will show up and beat up Solo Sikoa, and there'll be a feud in the Bloodline. There's your WWE segment. The paper this weekend. Now, last segment of the night. Tomorrow's Major League Baseball, obviously. Before I do that, let's talk about the Bisons game Monday night, obviously. The Bisons, I was at the game Monday. They were down 5-0 against Rochester. They came all the way back to win. They won 8-7. It was a good game to watch for sure, but yeah. But now, obviously, tomorrow, 4th of July will be fun. I'll see the Oilers game. They'll play the Salamanca Lizards, so it's pretty cool. I'll be at that one in Bradner's. But let's finish off the night with MLB, the biggest topic of the night. First MLB game tomorrow will start at 11:05 a.m. Mets and Nationals. It's in D.C. I would take the Nationals, but the Mets have been red hot since Grimace threw that first pitch. I'm going to go with the New York Grimace Mets. I like them. They've been red hot. They've been playing better. They beat the Yankees last week. They swept them or something like that. Yeah, I like them. I like them this one. So I'll take the Mets in this one. Next, the 12:35 p.m. The Cardinals and the Pirates in Pittsburgh. It's not going to be Paul Skeens that pitches, though, unfortunately. But I'm going to still roll with the Pirates. They're going to beat the Cardinals in this one. Let's move on to my New York Yankees. They play the Cincinnati Reds tomorrow. Yes, Stroman's on the mound. You damn well you know I'm going to pick the Yankees always. My New York Yankees will beat the Cincinnati Reds. Next, in Toronto, this is the only time. I'm actually going to pick a Canadian team on America's birthday because I hate the Astros. I'm going with the Blue Jays. Next, the Red Sox and Marlins. I hate to say this, but I'm going to pick the Red Sox. Marlins got no future this year. Next, in Cleveland, the White Sox and Guardians. Easy pick. Guardians. Tigers and Twins. This one's kind of tough. But I'm going with upset. I'm going with the Tigers in that one. Phillies, Cubs. It's in Wrigley, but I like the Phillies still in that one. Next, the Padres and the Rangers. I'm going to have to go with the Padres. As much as I would pick the Rangers, but I got the Padres, honestly. And then this toilet bowl one, A's and Angels. I'm going to have to go with the Angels over the A's any day. This one's a really good one. Orioles, Mariners. I don't know I like in this one, but I'm going to have to go with Baltimore. I can't underestimate them. Even though it's in Seattle, I like them. Braves and Giants. I'm going to go with the Braves. And the Brewers, Rockies. I'm going to have to go with the Rockies in an upset. No, actually, nah. Change that. I'm going to go with the Brewers. That's an easy pick. This one's a tough one. Royals and Rays. Rays look better, but I'm going to go with Kansas City still. I got to roll with them. Last pick of this one, last topic of the night. Here we go. Diamondbacks and Dodgers. Spoiler, I think Diamondbacks have had the Dodgers number. That's an upset in L.A. I got to go with the Diamondbacks. Dodgers have struggled in 4th of July because they lost to the Pirates last year. So there you go. It'll be a better show next week. But thank you all for tuning in. Hope you have a great 4th of July. And go Yankees.